the one and only Mr. Lloyd Kaufman. We're going to do a quick Q&A session, and at 2:15 we're going to start Poultrygeist. So, take it over to you.
Very cool. Well, thank you, big hand for Ryan, who created Ghosts. Our Ghost Convention. Ryan.
3:15. I got my time.
3:15 doesn't matter.
3:15.
Who cares? Anyway, we have the people who were a major part of the Poultrygeist team, Poultrygeist Night of the Chicken Dead. Hold on a second, my phone is ringing. Can you all introduce yourself and say a couple of words?
Oh, sure. I am Stacy.
Yep.
I was a clam in the movie, and that's how I met these two lovely ladies, and we've been friends ever since.
And I am Tracy. I was the assistant choreographer. You'll see some fantastic dance moves throughout the film today. And I'll introduce.
And I'm Anna, and I was also a clam, and also stripping victim, and I also worked on the special effects crew. Back to you, Lloyd.
Well, I think we should open it up to the audience. Poultrygeist Night of the Chicken Dead, as you know, was filmed in Buffalo. We're going to shoot Return to Newcomb High this summer. We may come back to Buffalo, in spite of the fact that everybody hates us. So, please, I think we should open up the... Kathy, did you have a question? Come over here, Kathy. Kathy Mackey was in Poultrygeist Night of the Chicken Dead. Her husband, Ron, and Kathy run the Troma convention department, and Ron sings in Poultrygeist Night of the Chicken Dead.
Sings and dances. Yes, he does.
Did you have a question?
I didn't have a question, I had a comment. Thank you all for coming today.
Yes, thank you.
I wasn't a Troma fan growing up because my parents were very strict Baptist, and I don't think I saw anything even vaguely familiar to a Troma film until I got married. And when we heard that Poultrygeist was filming in 2005 here in Buffalo, my husband said, let's go audition. And I said, oh good God, but he wouldn't go alone, so I went with him. And he was in the film, and so I had this little part in the film also, but it opened my world to a whole new bunch of films. And since that time, I've seen hundreds of Troma films, those that Lloyd has done himself or those that we've distributed, and they are amazing, amazing. We have a merchandise table if you too need your worlds expanded. And I just can't thank Lloyd enough because it's been a great ride. And since then, now we manage conventions all over the place. Weekends, we are everywhere. Philadelphia, Chicago, New York, from weekend to weekend, and it's been amazing. And it all started here in Buffalo. So.
Yeah, Buffalo.
Any questions?
Are there any well-known people who have started with Troma?
Oh, are there any well-known people who have started with Troma? Anybody know this? Anybody have a real big Troma collection at home? You may have Troma movies with folks like Kevin Costner in them. Anyone else?
What was that? What movie was it?
Sizzle Beach.
Sizzle Beach, USA.
Ooh, Sizzle Beach, USA. Lemmy.
What movie is Lemmy?
Terra Firma. I don't want to be on. This is pretty good for a girl that didn't grow up on Troma. All right, yeah. For those of you, has anyone in this room ever actually worked on a movie set before? Okay. So you know how hard it is, but how satisfying it is?
I just did grips, but yeah, I know.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, these girls can tell you. That summer we filmed here, it must have been 5,000 degrees every day. I know I'm over-exaggerating a little bit, but it was like one of the hottest summers ever. Yeah. And we're outside in the sun.
On a parking lot.
Yeah, on a parking lot. And there's one scene where we are all getting ready to vomit. And they had this big bucket of God knows what. It looked like corn soup.
I think it was mushroom soup in it.
Bread, yeah. And we all filled our mouths getting ready to do this horrific vomiting scene with all of these people. And I guess we ran out of film and we needed to change the roll or something. I'm not sure how all that. Yeah, it was filmed in 35 millimeters still. So, you know, this is how awesome this was. But I'm not a film person. All I knew was I'm sitting here, I want to vomit already because I'm hot, I'm sweating, my stomach's kind of turning, I've got this disgusting stuff filled up into the rim in my mouth, and they say, cut, hold it. And Lloyd's like, hold it, hold it. And we had to wait for them to change the film over, and then a couple of people really started to get sick waiting for that, and they threw up, really threw up, and so then other people really threw up, and so Lloyd's trying to hurry up and film it because this is a great moment, and I think you did get that on film. So those are some of the things you're missing if you've never worked on a film before, especially a glamorous Troma film. It's amazing, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was awesome.
The South Park guys started with Troma. They made a movie called Cannibal the Musical, and it's a very good film. And also, Kathy, where are you going? Oh, okay. You have to take over here. Stacy, how did you get involved in that with Troma? Were you discovered?
I don't remember what happened. I had heard that.
Does the word roofie mean anything to you?
I don't. Maybe. I don't know.
Because I know you don't drink anymore.
I don't drink anymore.
So, now the whole world knows. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Straight. What do you call that? Ex-straight.
Straight edge? No, not straight edge. I just
Good.
don't drink.
At any rate, how did you get involved?
I don't know. A friend of mine told me that they needed dancers for a movie, and so, or no, they needed protesters for a movie. So we went down and checked out the protesting scene. They're like, and then she stuck around after and mentioned that they needed dancers, and I was like, I've never danced, but let's dance.
I think actually I have exotic dancers.
Exotic dancers.
I think, are you willing to take off your shirt?
Yeah,
Wait a minute, explain exactly what happened. Anna Olson.
I believe I asked her. Okay. I believe I asked. I stayed around for the protesting and kind of went around and asked the women. It was like, "Are you willing to be in another scene without your shirt on?" And there was a lot of women that said no and walked away, but Stacy said yes. So that was very fortunate.
How did you get involved? How did you hear about Troma in Buffalo? Because it's possible we may be coming back with the return to Newcomb High.
I believe it was a flyer on a lamppost. So girls, keep working those street corners because it could lead to a film career. Yeah, I answered the ad, and they needed extras as well as a choreographer since this is a musical, which is the first for Lloyd Kaufman, right? So not only do you have chicken zombies, but you have some dancing and singing as well. And yeah, it was a very hot summer, but overall it was a very great experience and I don't regret it.
Very nice. Thank you. And as you know, Tracy manages the arcade. What do you call it?
Arcade, yeah.
Market Arcade, which had the New York State world premiere of Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead, as I recall, and survived. And we have a very important celebrity in the audience. We have the New York State Film Commissioner. Please come up and say hello to the enormous crowd. What's your name, little girl?
Lloyd Kaufman.
Wow, what a coincidence. And what does the New York State Film Commissioner do?
It's my job to tell the world how wonderful Buffalo is in conjunction with your great film commissioner, Tim Clark, and with Rich, I just blanked on your last name. Rich Wall. So Tim
Rich
Clark.
Wall is here, ladies and gentlemen, the Deputy Film Commissioner of the great city of Buffalo.
Right,
Rich Wall, ladies and gentlemen.
and Tim Clark, and we're here to build the industry. I'm supposed to build it all over the state, but I have a particular love for the great city, the Queen City, Buffalo, and so I particularly like working with Tim Clark, your film commissioner.
Tim Clark, come on down. Tim Clark, meet the overflowing audience. Tim Clark, very much responsible for Poultrygeist and now the Flying Walendas and the Peregrine Falcons. Tell us about that.
Well, it's interesting. The Peregrine Falcons up at Niagara Falls are posing a little bit of a issue for us, and Nick Walenda, as he's trying to navigate across the way, but we're trying to get that under control. And they fly pretty flat. no, Pellegrino water, I think is what it is. But anyway, we're very, very happy to have the Kaufmans here, but particularly Lloyd. And we're so proud of the fact that Poultrygeist shows off our great city. And we thank you very, very much for shooting here. Hopefully we'll get him back soon to do another one of these days. So here you go, Lloyd. Thank you.
Tim Clark, your film commissioner, the great Tim Clark, and Pat Kaufman, personally representing Governor Cuomo. Now let's take some questions from the audience. Yes, I'm one of the legends of underground cinema. Very good question. I am that Lloyd Kaufman, yes indeed, and Troma's been around for almost 40 years now. In spite of the fact that we have never had a hit, we are the oldest and longest running independent movie studio in America. And as long as I remain president of Troma Entertainment, we will continue that unblemished record. Yes, little girl.
How did you get started?
You say that Lloyd Kaufman is your favorite film director? Oh, thank you very much. That's, all right, well, that's nice of you to say, but I think more interesting, I began, maybe you'd like to hear how I began my 40 years of failed filmmaking. Yale University. It was the 60s, a time of peace, a time of making the world a better place. I was not going to be a filmmaker. I was going to be a social worker and teach people with hooks for hands how to finger paint and tell bums how to paint happy faces on beads and things like that. But I was roomed with a movie nut at Yale. I would have preferred to be roomed with the New York State Film Commissioner, but unfortunately it was all boys in those days. And at night our beds were head to toe, very small bedroom, and I would inhale his Godard stinking feet, and the aroma du Troma was born. All because of Yale University. By the way, George Bush, the greatest president of the United States of America, was in my class, as was Oliver Stone. I don't know whatever happened to him, but he was in my class. At any rate, good question. And Bush was interesting because he, freshman year, he would go around Yale University campus looking for weapons of mass destruction. We never could figure that one out, but maybe we will someday. Yes, Batman and Robin, you like that movie, I'm sure. It's a great movie, yes. Okay. Very much like Terra Firma. Yes, sir. Hey, Oprah's here. Oprah Winfrey. Oh, no, that's not. That's Rosie O'Donnell. Sorry. Turn the camera around. Get a picture. This is YoungHairlessAsianBoys.com is filming this. Anyway, what's your question?
I was just wondering how hard.
You're clearly not a young hairless Asian boy, Ken.
How hard was it to get the word out to Buffalo that you need all the extras and actors?
Well, we came up here. I think we started with Jamie Greco, one of our assistant directors, who directed all of the protest scenes. He came up here about 2 months beforehand and started recruiting and auditioning. And Poultrygeist has singing and dancing in it. So Jamie also had to teach, not to teach, but to coach the crowd scenes with lyrics. And so it was pretty complicated. And so I think we were up here for, we had at least 6 weeks of pre-production and then 24 days of filming. And then in New York, prior to the 6 weeks, we had at least 2 months of casting, and also trying to find the location was not easy because we needed a fast food establishment that was closed and would let us, and had all the fixtures. And thanks to the great commissioner of Buffalo, we found, and New York State, of course, we found it here in Buffalo on Bailey Avenue. We only had 2 drive-by shootings, too. It was nice. Luckily, nobody's here from the film commission, so I don't have to worry about making a terrible joke, even though it was true. Yes?
Yes, sir. What inspires you to keep making these films, keep doing this?
What inspires me?
Yes.
The newspapers, usually. Most of what are in the Troma movies comes right out of the newspapers. I guess now nobody reads newspapers, but whatever Pirate Bay has these days, whatever used to be newspapers, what's in the news is totally much crazier and weirder than anything that could come out of my head, that's for sure. Toxic Avenger, the famous scene where the teenagers mow down a child on a motorcycle. They're driving in a car, of course. That came out of the New York Post. It was a story about teenagers who go around running people over, and they score points. An old lady is 5 points, wheelchairs 10 points.
Death race.
So things of that ilk are in the papers. Poultrygeist came out of the fact that McDonald's moved next to the Troma building, and we had rats the size of raccoons instantly. And also they were very bad neighbors. So then I read Gabe Friedman, who was our supervising editor and fluffer. He gave me Fast Food Nation to read, which was indeed an eye-opener or a stomach opener or something. And so we decided we would make Poultrygeist Night of the Chicken Dead and go after the fast food industry. And of course, there are political themes. If you've seen Terra Firma or Romeo and Juliet, there are political or social themes in all of our films. So that may be one of the reasons why we're still here after 40 years and why this enormous overflowing crowd, which luckily the camera cannot see because they would need a wide-angle lens to contain this overflow crowd, has come.
Thank you.
Good question. Any further questions? Anyone who's not on a BlackBerry want to make a question? All righty. Well, any other statements? Stacy? What are you doing now after your big success? Poultrygeist surely must have opened many doors for you.
I've been so busy, so many photo shoots, so many opportunities. So thank you, Lloyd. It's opened so many doors.
Wow, unbelievable.
Well, I do have a question. Because maybe there's someone out there that's afraid to ask. But let's say there's someone out there, they don't have the money to go to a fancy film school, and they want to know how to make their own movie. Is there any kind of literature out there that would answer that question?
That's a very good question. Anna Olson, can you answer that question? I don't read books.
Yeah, I can't really read either. However, I believe there are some books that that you maybe have written that kind of tells you about how to handle that topic.
Who wrote those books?
I think Lloyd Kaufman did.
Lloyd Kaufman.
I think there might be a series of books now at this point.
Very good question. Thank you. Thank you, Tracy. Yes, little boy.
Yeah, I have to ask. Of all the slew of films that you've either done yourself or helped produce, is there any one favorite?
Of all the movies that Troma has made, which is my favorite?
Yeah.
I would say Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead was my favorite movie. I think it's the most interesting because it combines all the genres, including singing and dancing. It's satire, it's gore, it's slapstick, it's musical, romantic, and of course has these beautiful, beautiful Gyno-Americans in it. And it's definitely my favorite of the movies that I've been involved in. I would also recommend Samuel L. Jackson's first movie, which is a Troma film, which I did not direct, which means it's good. And that movie is called Deaf, D-E-F, as in Frank, Death by Temptation, Samuel L. Jackson's very first movie. It's very good.
And I might add, we have a few of those copies at the merchandise table.
Yes, the Troma table. Kathy and Ron, who sings and dances in Poultrygeist, are running the Troma table, and you can find about 200 different movies. And the books are there, and also the DVD box sets. Make your own damn movie, direct your own damn movie, produce your own damn movie.
Oh, and we have some vintage Toxies on VHS for real collectors.
The Toxic Avenger has just come out, Troma being technically advanced. We have just released the green big box Toxic Avenger VHS edition, of which there are only... What's that?
Not that there's any nerd collectors.
No nerds, no nerds. This was aimed at Justin Bieber and Katy Perry. Well, I guess we should probably get ready because I think there are thousands of people lining up for Poultrygeist Night of the Chicken Dead, and Ryan is here. Thank you, Ryan, for this amazing festival and convention. And well, Ryan has a question. Yes, sir.
Might have been asked.
Ryan has asked, what said you say that Lloyd Kaufman is your favorite movie director? Oh, thank you, Ryan, but you didn't have to say that. I would come here. I love Buffalo. It's okay. We might shoot here, but the return to Newcomb High is about a school, so probably we have to find a school, and then maybe we shoot something here. But this, I am in a movie you're going to see tonight, or this afternoon, called Annie Hall, I believe. No, what is it called? Oh, Slime City Massacre Part 2. That was the remake of Annie Hall. And and we filmed that right here. And,
That was filmed right outside.
right here and right outside. And in fact, I believe some of the floorboards contain a lot of the skin of the leading actress, if I'm not mistaken. At any rate, always have insurance. That's the key. Thank you, Ryan. And the film commissioner has a presentation for you, but I did not bring it. You should come back to the Troma table later today. And we have a very important Troma diploma. Come here, Ryan. Come and be on camera. The New York Times is here. Ryan is being awarded by the New York State Film Commissioner an official Troma diploma. And you should say a few words. We don't have it here, but you'll get it at the... Oh, yeah, you do the official presentation.
This is the official, the often wanted but rarely given Troma diploma. It's my great pleasure to give it to Ryan for his support of independent film. Ryan, here it is.
I think it was going to be a cinder block painted, but thank you. No, I appreciate everyone coming out and Lloyd, and I want to support and help promote independent films and especially locally here as well. So I'm hoping that this is a one of many annual event. You know, most horror conventions are held at like Holiday Inn banquet halls, and you know that ain't the Central Terminal. So I'm hoping that we have enough support. We can do this every year and hold an event like this at the Central Terminal. This building's made for an event like this. So thanks again for coming out. Thanks to Lloyd and Troma and everything you guys do. Does anyone have any final questions for Troma or Lloyd Kaufman here before we start the movie? Anybody? All set?
Is there anyone here who has not seen Poultrygeist? That's going to see it for the first time? Oh,
Wow. A lot of virgins
okay.
tonight.
If you stayed through the whole thing, we do have copies of it here today on Blu-ray, on regular, and we also have a special limited edition collector's disc. So you can tell I'm the one that does all the merchandise. We also have
Thank you. You also have
brains,
which
we might
many
wanna,
of us do not have.
we might want to let them know too, since so many folks in the room are seeing it for the first time. I mean, we really do support those independent artists out there who want to.
We really do support those independent artists out there who want to make movies, but just don't have bazillions of dollars in their pockets. Even though Lloyd might, I certainly don't. But we want to let you know that Poultrygeist was filmed on what, about $500,000? On about $500,000 budget. Now, I just went to see The Avengers in the past few weeks, speaking of nerds, yes, and I loved it, but how many millions and millions of dollars did that cost?
200.
Yeah, a lot of money. So the film you're going to see today was made on a fraction of the kind of money that's spent on the movies that come out of Hollywood now. And so we're really proud of that, and it gives you guys a goal too, that you know, we have independent filmmakers that we distribute their movies that are amazing, that they've done on, you know, $10,000-$20,000. So it can be done. Enjoy.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ryan. In fact, we're going to look at some locations right now for return to class of Newcomb High. So we may be back.